Kate, and today we are here to talk about X-Men Days of Future Past. And this movie, I'm like, man, this is going to be really great, which looked really great, but I'm like, oh, this could be an epic hot mess. But I thought they did a great job with
I did too.
It's one of my favorite X-Men films. I mean, it was really great.
It is my favorite X-Men film.
Yeah, this is my favorite X-Men film. The thing that I liked about it, for those of you who did not read the Days of Future Past series that came out in the 80s, it was in the late 80s. That storyline was really fantastic, and so that's rated one of the top storylines in comic book history, because it was so complicated. And I remember it was dark, it was complicated, and people. I mean, it was. I mean,
you were seeing characters that you love die,
you know,
and so. I mean that part alone, but then also in the book, I mean at the end of the story, you find out that, well, in Marvel period, that when you change something in the past, they have no problem making an alternate timeline, and it doesn't really change your timeline. So the people that were in that future, I mean, they're just kind of stuck in it, you know, and the regular timeline that goes on is just Earth 616. Speaking of timelines, it was so cool to see Blink.
Yeah, it was.
In this movie. I loved her in Exile. Love her in Exiles. Warpath. It was so cool because, you know, you're reading her and reading her story and stuff, and you're seeing her powers, and you see like the little pink little teleportation thing they draw. I'm like, man, this would be. I wonder how cool this will look like on a screen. You're like, somebody actually did it, and to see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it just completely blew my mind.
She was just. I always liked Blink. I always thought she was a very, very, very cool character, and for them to put her in the movie and to do what they did with her was just.
Yeah, you saw Warpath, you saw Sunspot, you saw Bishop.
I was too geeked when I saw Bishop.
Man, I did Mrs. Jericho. But dreadlocks make more sense in a post-apocalyptic world
than Jericho, because I mean, it's really
you can't keep. You can't.
There's jupe somewhere. There's jupe somewhere.
I mean, you
gotta be somewhere.
I mean, tree sap.
There's gonna be some soul glow somewhere.
Yeah, but no,
cut up the set.
It just makes more sense.
The oil.
She's like, what are you doing? We about to die. I gotta get this relaxer straight. I can't be. We about to die. I know, but my perm takes about 30 more minutes. Give me a second. But so, you know, it just dreadlocks. It would just make more sense.
It would make more sense.
But it was just really cool to see them, and also seeing all of the old cast and also the new cast.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy. I mean, these people were so amazing. And to think about when First Class came out, you had Jennifer Lawrence in there. Now this girl is an Oscar winner and a Golden Globe winner. It's crazy.
You know, First Class, I had many gripes with it, but I did like stuff they did with Charles, and I liked stuff they did with Eric. And they fortunately killed everyone I did not like. So they just went on a better path.
Wow.
Did anybody like what they did with the White Queen? Or anybody else?
You know what? I never understood why they chose January Jones for Emma Frost, but after watching Mad Men, I understood why they chose her for Emma Frost. No, it was weird seeing her. It was weird seeing Emma in that timeline anyways.
Yeah. She was at the end of X-Men Origins, and
that was true.
So, and there's still they fixed a lot of continuity things and brought people back with this movie. But if you look at X-Men Origins, there's still like some continuity errors, whatever. So, but whatever. Everybody's been talking about this one moment with these couple scenes in the movie, and that is the scenes with Peter Maximoff, played by Evan Peters, Pietro, Quicksilver. He was genius. He was genius.
That was probably the scene with him was my favorite scene.
I mean, in the X-Men series, there's always like a scene everybody remembers, like in X2 with Nightcrawler, how he beat up everybody and almost killed the president. People talked about that. I mean, it was cool at the museum when Xavier did the Mind Stop thing, and I mean, there's always scenes like that, but that's definitely the scene that everyone remembers and talk about.
Oh my gosh, Quicksilver. I mean, he was just, and then I love how they hinted that Magneto was possibly his father when they were on the elevator. I'm just like, yes, thank you for doing that. When he was just like, hey, my mom knew a guy who'd been metal, and just bravo to Michael Fassbender for just making that slight eye movement that just told like a whole kind of like worriness crash across his face, like oh my gosh, could this kid be my son? Like I absolutely love that, and he was just so funny, and that whole moment when he was just running around, like I mean, there's been movies and there's been TV shows where people are using super speed, but you've never seen it done like that, and it was just. Not only was it comical, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even that moment when he came down the hallway and all the guards just, you know, went past, like it just blew out. Like I thought that was so crazy awesome. And Magneto at the end with the stadium going down over the White House.
You know,
brilliant. That's why people like Magneto. That is why people like Magneto. People hate Magneto because he's like he's a crazy you know, villain, whatever, and the things he's done, but brilliant stuff like that is the reason why people like
right, because like he does stuff that's just so amazing that it's scary. Like for him to do what he did, and you're just sitting there like, wow, like it just shows why he is the master of Magneto.
Christina, tell him what you.
I thought he was gonna kill the president, kill all those guys, and it's about to be the House of M, because they said only Wolverine would remember how once you know the president in the future phased or whatever, he would be the only one who remembered what happened, and that in the House of M, he was the only one who remembered how the world was supposed to be. So I'm like, this is about to go down right now. Like, this is about to go down. I was ready for it, and I thought it was being cool as heck, and I didn't know how they're gonna fix everything. So I'm like, man, how are they gonna do this without the Avengers? Like, how are they gonna stop it? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm like, oh, they got all the X people back, but they're just would have been way out of their league though.
Yeah, they would have been. I mean, and then also,
I thought it was awesome he tried to kill Mystique.
Yes. Absolutely, and it just.
I thought you were gonna call me sick or something.
No, like, I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. Right?
It was Magneto.
Exactly. Like Magneto would do. Magneto is so traumatized about what happened to him in World War II, and he doesn't want the mutants to go through a Holocaust, that he is willing to create a human Holocaust just so that his mutant brothers don't go through a Holocaust. I mean, it's just Magneto's character to me just always has been kind of brilliant.
I mean, that's something you can really credit to the movies as the characters that was created in the books.
But also the actors playing him as well.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Michael Fassbender, he had said that how he studied his, like he did study Sir Ian, you know, who was senior Magneto, but he also went back and watched videos of him lecturing a class when he was younger and trained his accent to sound just like him. So I thought that was cool. James McAvoy, he said, I'm just doing my own thing because eventually I'll just turn into him, you know, Patrick Stewart's character. So he's like, I'm just doing my own thing, it's a different time, and so on and so forth. And so, and I thought that was a great approach.
I could see it, and I thought it looked great. You know, it was just believable as them getting to that point. It was kind of hard when everybody was dying and watching Xavier say goodbye to Eric, kind of when they're about to be killed by the Sentinels. When you see in the past Magneto doing all the stuff he's doing, like, you douchebag, you're ruining everything. I'm like, don't you reach your hand out to him. Like, you go lecture yourself. Or I mean, oh, it's so much dramatic stuff going on.
It was, and then at that point, it's like Wolverine's drowning, and it's just kind of like, like, how are you gonna get this medal out of you to save the day? Like, what's going on? What's going on?
I mean, was everybody a little afraid there was about to be a brutal rip Logan apart moment or something?
I didn't know what he was going to do.
I didn't either, but it was just kind of like when he got thrown into the water and he got thrown so far away, it was kind of like, okay, how's Wolverine gonna fix this?
Yeah.
But I really liked it, the fact that it was Mystique was the one that ended up fixing it.
I liked it, but I also wasn't that surprised because, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence, if she's so huge now, they have to give her more.
But the only thing about it was, like, at the end, I was expecting to see her.
Like with them?
At the mansion, yeah.
At the mansion?
No.
No.
I was hoping.
No.
No,
she's still be evil.
She's
evil.
She's cold blooded.
She's evil.
She's the reason why Rick James sang that song.
She's evil.
She's really I mean, the stuff she's done at Nightcrawler. I mean, you know, she's just a terrible person. It's just how she is. Had nothing to do with Eric. But also, let's see.
Another thing in First Class, I didn't her whole emotional road or whatever. I just was like, okay, I get the teeny bopper thing, but come on, like I just thought it was a little too much. But how they played the role in the Sentinels or her unique DNA, I accepted the huge role that that they had with her. And you know, it's really not safe for her to be roaming around if you really think about it. But whatever. I guess it turned out okay.
Well, that makes her one of the deadly assassin that she is.
No, I'm just saying she's still this massive threat to the entire mutant population, and you just wouldn't think that Magneto would really let her live or let her out of. Nobody should have let her out of their sight, really. I know you can't control people to a degree, but well, Charles can, of course.
Right. Well, you know, let's touch on some of the actors that they, you know, of course, you saw Jean, you saw Scott make a cameo, and Halle Berry was in there.
I was glad they were back. You know, they really didn't explain too much how Xavier came back, though. I mean, I know how he came back, but they just for an audience, regular person, they didn't. I don't know how you can just accept and grasp that he came back.
Well, that's one thing I realized they didn't explain, and if you wouldn't have seen. What was the last clip of like the extra footage of the
at the end of X3 they show him waking up.
Yeah,
but that body didn't look like a Patrick Stewart double.
No, it didn't. But you also have to remember that he does have a twin. He has a twin sister.
Okay, I know he has a twin.
Could have been a twin brother.
I'm just saying I don't remember the dude in the bed looking like anything like Patrick Stewart looked.
Yeah, I thought the person that they had in there was like brain dead, and like I just thought maybe he just like transferred his conscious to a brain dead.
Well, I knew he transferred his conscious over. I knew it was I think they mentioned a brother, but I'm just saying it did not look like a twin body.
Yeah. And
he, of course, he was at the end of X-Men. I mean, or Wolverine 2 or whatever, but. They probably just.
I mean, there's like you said before, there's some continuity that doesn't make any sense.
There's a lot of continuity.
I mean, think about how old Mystique would actually be, and then in X3, when they shot her with the thing and she lost all her powers and she went back to being a human, and she was like a 30-year-old woman. Like, you know.
They obviously.
Well, like in the comic books, they really don't know how old. They really don't know how old Mystique is.
Well, their powers came back. She's a changeling. I accept that her DNA is different. I don't care that she's changes, whatever.
Okay, I'm just saying there's differences. That's what I'm saying. Anna Paquin showed up for a tad bit as well. And a lot.
I think there was supposed to be they shot another scene with her, but they had to take it out or something.
I figured as much because you know she's
humongous.
Yeah, she's a humongous star as well, and I'm pretty sure.
Bryan Singer just said that for the scene or whatever he just had to do it for the movie or whatever.
So yeah.
Deleted scenes.
And it was nice seeing Colossus standing next to Kitty.
Yeah.
In the class.
Because I had an attitude when I'm like, you are still with Bobby?
Like,
really?
Because our sister Angelina, when she saw at the end when Bobby was sitting next to Rogue, she was like, thank God, I did not want him with Kitty. I was like, first of all, don't nobody want Bobby because there was a nice tall drink of Russian right over there. Right. So don't nobody want Bobby when there's Colossus right there. I'm sorry. That's just
it would have been nice to see Gambit or something.
It would have been nice to see Gambit, but Gambit should be kind of. He should be older too. Wait.
No, he was. Well, he would be older, but he would be older than her. Yeah. But he was young, pretty young in X-Men. So I mean, the Wolverine Origins.
In the Wolverine Origins, he was.
I mean, it was in the past.
No, but he wasn't that.
No. But wasn't that far
he'd be the same age as probably Scott.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
It really sucks people like touching. I don't care. I think she cares about something old.
Well, no, she doesn't because in a totally different timeline, her and Magneto got together and have a child. Granted that Magneto actually doesn't look as old as Sir Ian in the comics, but
No.
I like the Age of Apocalypse.
You know,
speaking of apocalypse,
stay to the end of the credits. All of them. Do not leave. Do not leave.
You know, one thing I really do appreciate about the X-Men series compared to all the other series that they have right now, excluding the Avengers, because they built that up, but I mean, that I appreciate that they have like 6 or 7 movies that they kept going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of people didn't like Spider-Man 3, which I still enjoyed it. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see Sam Raimi go on and make another one after that, and another one after it, and see how Peter and Mary Jane would have, mended their relationship, go on, and,
Mm-hmm.
it's just seen other things happen, to see them, get married and whatnot, and I would have liked to see it continue. I know Fantastic Fours weren't great, and I mean, now what's the name is Captain America, so that's great for him, but I would like to see these movies kind of go on, and I appreciate that the X-Men movies went on.
Yeah.
I know not everybody liked X3, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I still liked X3,
Right.
but I'm glad that they went on and you have these extra movies.
Yeah, that's true. And then also, like, there were some people, it was just weird because when we were watching the X-Men movie and the movie was over, remember there were some people that got up. I didn't know for sure there was going to be a clip after the end of it or not. I just assumed it was because it's done by Marvel. But anyways, there was people behind me that was like, well, that's the last X-Men movie, so we're going to go. There's probably nothing there. I'm just like, why would you get up?
Why would you assume it was the last one anyway? They just brought back all the people.
I mean, I stay after the end of DC movies, just in case.
I stay at the end of every movie, period, now.
Yeah, I do too. Like,
every movie.
I just don't want to. Oh, there's traffic and stuff anyways.
Like, come on, Hunger Games. Show me something.
Yeah, so it's...
Even Matrix, way back in 2000, whatever year it was, showed a preview for the last movie after the end of the second one.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And then, like, and then this clip at the end, so we're doing spoilers anyways, it's really cool to see that they're moving on towards that apocalypse story and 4 Horsemen. And the thing about it is that you don't know what characters they might include in it, or they might just do a whole new thing.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, they've already talked about the future in the beginning of the movie, and I believe I should have done research. I haven't done my research. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But in the beginning of the movie, there was the person in the front of the very first person shown. It looked like that was X-Men. The brown hair and then the white 2 bangs. It looked like that was X-Men, like the version of Cable. And so I'm just curious if they're going to do a Cable story with the apocalypse.
And they showed a clip of him when Wolverine came back, running through the halls too.
Well, there was a boy with white hair, but I don't know for sure if that's him or not. It could be possible, but but the thing about Cable is that Cable is so freaking cool. Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna see a Cable in Deadpool, even though I really did like that series. I still to this day I don't really understand why they
teamed those two up
together, but those were some really
maybe
cool.
Like, well, Cable should be more popular, and we don't understand why. Well, let's team him up with Deadpool.
So when you're bringing Cable, you have to.
And they talk exactly in that tone.
You have to explain his origins. You have to explain. I mean, are they going to go the clone route? Are they not going to go the clone route? They do go the clone route. You don't necessarily.
Sinister.
Well, they go to. Well, not even that for necessarily. I mean, they could always use different characters, but also if they do go the clone route, you don't necessarily need those other actors as well. I mean, just because somebody's a clone doesn't mean it has to look exactly like you. You just have the same kind of DNA type thing. So it's just interesting. There's a million things they can do. That's the thing about the Marvel Universe. There's a lot of characters. There's still a lot of characters in X-Men that they haven't used. I was just in the car today just counting. I was just curious how many X-Men characters I could just name off the top of my head in like a short period of time. Then I got to 37 and I got really tired and blanked out. Because they had asked Hugh Jackman in an interview how many X-Men characters he could name, and he couldn't even name all the cast. Like he said he was stupid or something or whatever, something like that.
I don't care. But I appreciate that Hugh Jackman
throws himself into the role.
I do. Not only that, but he also said in an interview that they're trying to work on another script for another Wolverine movie.
Good.
It hasn't been officially picked up or anything. They just said they're trying to work on it.
I was at the end of the movie. The only thing that would have been a little more perfect was if you just sort of saw a girl with claws and just, I don't know, call him dad or something, like old man, or I don't know, just snarky and just been like X-23 and you just knew it was her. And since he didn't know what was going on, the look on his face would have been priceless. So I just kind of wish I would have saw that.
Well, yeah, X-23 is really
She's a really cool character.
I mean, they can bring her in. I mean, there's a lot of things that they can do. I remember in the Age of Apocalypse story, when they went back to it, the X-23 was actually his, and was it Mariko's kid? I believe, yeah, Mariko was her mother, and he did sleep with her in the Wolverine movie. So I mean, it could go down.
I was upset that they say she was pregnant or something at the, I don't know. I'm like, please just more togetherness. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, but he does have a son too that I hope they never bring into the comic books because he's just
crazy.
I just think I just don't like him. There's a lot of things that they can do and go on forward, not necessarily using all the cast, but but a few here, a few there, whoever wants to join in. As long as you have the right director and the right writer, it can be done. So anyways, I'm Katrina.
I'm Gina. I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks.